I mean, I do agree to a certain extent that yes, our vagina is power, blah blah blah, depending on what power that is. But it's just it becomes annoying and it becomes disheartening to constantly when you're on social media or on different platforms like podcasts and stuff like that, men having so much to say about women and what they should and should not be doing, how they should and should not be behaving, um, what they should and should not be saying, how they should and should not be interacting with men. Like, they have so much to say about women and not for themselves. Like, you know, I hardly ever hear men on a lot of things just being like, oh, well, we should hold ourselves as men more accountable, or we should behave this way with women, or I wish my mother or my dad would have taught me this about women or relationships with women or interacting with women, or, you know, some of my homeboys suck as a man, or some of my homeboys suck as a partner, and you know, maybe I should go to therapy as a man to figure out the things that's going on with me instead of women, 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 women.
And I was saying to that our show, you know what I'm saying, it's our experiences, but I see what you're saying. You was like, it'll help, I guess it probably help y'all as women if we said this is what we can do if we talked about ourselves as far as the whole whatever the situation is, instead of saying, you know, well, women feel this way because this is my experience, but talk about us. It's
Right,
more.
right,
So what you
right. I
guys say?
mean, even when I've had conversations with men, even with you, like, I'm all for accountability and I'm all for being like, oh, well, I'm quick to say, you know, if I got a friend or somebody who says something, or, you know, I didn't do a certain thing some way, or I treated somebody this way, or, you know, I cussed this nigga out, you know, or I messed up about this nigga, you know, I'm quick to say those things because and I can say that. And I can give my opinion because this is how I feel, and this is my everyday life, and this is my friends' everyday lives, and stuff like this. I don't automatically come on something, or if I'm having a discussion with another man, being like, "You niggas need to this, and that." Like, you know what I
Okay.
mean? Like, but I feel like that's what men do a lot to women.
Okay, so look, you feel like that we do what? What is it that you feel like that men do, or what you witnessed on our show specifically that made you have this train of thought? Cause you said a lot of stuff.
I've always had this train of thought. It was just one little clip that I saw, and maybe I should have watched the whole thing.
Uh-huh.
But you know, it's just very tiresome
Mm-hmm.
to when you're having a conversation about relationships,
Mm-hmm.
roles, and not even just sexual relationships, platonic relationships. It's not automatically, but a good time and a good portion is what women are doing wrong or not doing or lack thereof of doing. It's a more focused center around women than holding their own male counterparts accountable for certain things.
I mean, I think it's about supply and demand or the market, right? So, me personally,
Mm,
I think it's more. I think it's more women out there seeking channels, seeking advice, seeking perspective on how to relate to men better. You know,
no. I think there's a lot of men who are giving their unsolicited advice, and then there are certain women who catch on to that and think it's catchy, or I mean, because you can't pay me to understand these women who call into people like Kevin Samuels to degrade them and
I
say
know, but
off the
that that
wall
but
ridiculous stuff to them, but nobody
but
in
that
the
may
same
not
in the
be okay. Listen, but that may not
mm-hmm,
be your experience, right? But what I'm
mm-hmm,
saying is, if you take Kevin Samuels and
mm-hmm,
he has all these women calling in, right? And
mm-hmm,
then you take The View, right?
mm-hmm.
Men are not calling into The View. You know what I'm saying?
But that's two different.
Hold,
That's apples and oranges.
I mean, it kind of is, but in a sense, it's not. And I'm saying that to say, right? I believe that there are more, and I'm not saying it in a bad way. I'm just
Mm-hmm.
saying I think it's women more interested in how to relate and understand and be with a man than there are men trying to understand, especially out in the open in public, what they need to do to. And I'm saying that to say this. In my estimation, in my perspective, it's easier for a man to get into a relationship, a loving relationship, right? I feel like it's easier for a man to find a partner that he truly loves and wants to be with than it
I
is
agree.
for a woman to find
Mm-hmm.
that man, right? So I feel like when a man is at that point and he wants to do that and he's doing the work and he's all that, he doesn't have to go to certain avenues and certain channels because he walks through certain doors and he has a good choice of women waiting on him, in my opinion, or open to that. You know what I mean? But women are out here damn near, in my opinion, and I'm saying this as a man, in crisis. You know,
And why is that?
That's the truth. But
because of the
And why
state,
is that?
because for the most part, because of the state of our men. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Our
Right.
values.
And let's hold it right there. And let's stick it right there.
oh, I
Stick
don't.
a
I know
stick
she
a
goes.
thumb tag right there. So when you say that, why don't y'all speak on that?
I
Why
do.
don't y'all talk about
I
that?
do.
Why don't y'all say the crisis that our men, quote unquote, are having, are doing, or are possessing, are in the mix of, which is causing X, Y, and Z.
I
Stick with
do.
that.
I do.
Stay on that.
I do.
Don't then tell women what they need to be doing
No, 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 no,
to
no, no, so,
try.
no. But it's not about telling them. It's about giving a perspective from a place of I don't want anything from you. I'm not. I'm not trying to control or tell you what to do. But this is just a perspective because I feel like a lot of women don't have that. I feel like a lot of women don't have that. So when you're saying why not do this, I do it, and I do it in real life, and I do it with the young men, right? So my thing is, one of the hardest things that in teaching and dealing with these young men is trying to teach them and show them that these young women are deserving of respect. That's a battle that I fight in real life, right? So what I'm saying is, I'm not coming to the internet. Like, I mean, I do it. Like, I talk about how we need to treat women, men, we need to do better and grow. And I'm a man that's in therapy. I'm a man that has the battle of the sexes. I mean, building of the sexes versus battle of the sexes,
Let me
right?
say something.
Uh-huh.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. I
No,
want to
no,
say
go.
that I know what was talking about in this one. This one we were talking on the phone. I was saying, okay, we'll attack that more because I was saying that it was cool because it's our experience with women. Every woman is different, but this is our experience with them. And it was like, well, still talk. She wants to hear, and she feels like women would want to hear about us talking about why we are the way we are and what we going through.
Okay.
Now, I ain't gonna lie to you. I haven't talked about that a lot, or probably almost none, only because I believe what you just said, JoJo,
What?
about the crisis.
Uh-huh.
There's so many women out there that I feel like they want to hear this than that. But so with you saying this, I probably could ask that question to women, and they probably agree with it too. But so many women out there flock to a Kevin Samuel,
Yeah.
so that's why a lot of men talk about that type of stuff.
Well, I don't, and I don't understand the women who flock to the Kevin Samuels because it's disgusting. But
It's not. I disagree. And
I
I'm not.
don't.
I
No, I think
disagree.
it's very disgusting and it's very degrading. And several, because I can't stomach several of them. But just in instances when you tell women like, the one that sits out the most of me is he told the girl she was a nurse, but the girl said she was in school to be a nurse. He was like, "Oh God, that's what all the world needs is another nurse." Like, how the fuck you gonna knock this lady for her profession? Like, you know what I mean? It's just, it's egregious and it's disgusting. I'm not about to call some man for him to tell me my shortcomings. You don't think women already know said shortcomings?
No, I don't.
You
I don't think they
need.
do. I don't think they
That's
do.
bullshit.
No,
Absolutely, they do.
I think a lot of women don't. I think.
I am a woman. I am friends with women who
Okay.
know their
I
shortcomings.
I am a father of three. I am a married man. I am a son of a mother. I deal with a lot of women too, so it's not like I live in a vacuum. I'm just telling you my experience, my perspective, right? I don't think a lot of women, and I have a bunch of homegirls. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think a lot of women are aware of their shortcomings. Why? Because men embellish. You know what I mean? They manipulate and they just tell them what they want to hear, in my opinion, to get what they want. They're never getting that 100% truth from a man, in my opinion, right? So like I have a homegirl, and we'll be talking about a situation.
So let me
Hold
go back to that. So then you go to this stranger who you see constantly degrade women, constantly degrade them. So you go and you think to yourself, I need to ask this stranger about myself while I sit here and watch him degrade the hell out of like 50 other women
No, no,
prior
no.
to
Look,
me.
let me say this. Let me say this. I had a homegirl, and we just this conversation in particular. I have a home like, and I have sisters. I have girl cousins, girl homegirls, right? Platonic, and they called me for my perspective. So I got a homegirl, and she's telling me about her situation, and I'm telling her, in my opinion, because everything is, I know my opinion isn't law, right? So I'm just saying my perspective. I'm like, you don't even know this. She like, what? I'm like, you are the crazy baby mama. You know what I'm saying? You are the bitter ex. But she's not, she don't know this. Like, so when we go down through there and we have this conversation and she see it and she looks and then she goes and she talks to this man and then they, you know what I mean? They get a straightening and she comes back and she has that realization. But you've been operating in this space for 4 years not knowing it. So when I say that women don't always know the truth, a lot of them don't. You know what I mean?
Okay, I can probably somewhat agree with that because me and have some similar people who I would say are not as self aware as others.
Thank you.
But I don't think that it should have to come from some man who constantly degrades other women. That should come from your girlfriends who hold you accountable. That's where that should come from.
You
Or
know how?
your
Do you
close
know?
friends
You know where I
that
learned
hold
I
you
wasn't an
accountable.
ain't shit nigga from?
From who?
Oh, women.
Of course, of course.
So you know what
Right.
I'm saying? So I'm just saying, my part of my awakening came around sitting around my homegirls talking about their experiences with men and talking about men, and I looked and said, damn, that fits me. I need to change this shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
But I'm still saying in the
gotcha.
same breath that accountability should come from your self awareness, yourself, and being
Gotcha.
able to eventually look within. I
Uh
mean,
huh.
it takes a lot. I mean, nobody's perfect. I mean, and I'm probably not the person you should have this conversation with because I'm a little different from your average typical woman.
Right. You
Um,
are.
so I mean, it takes a lot of accountability for your own shit and figuring your own shit out and having friends, close friends, platonic, male or female, to also hold you accountable. I hold you accountable for shit. You know what I mean? I have friends who, I mean, few and far between, who, hold me accountable for some shit. But I'm not, I don't really lead with emotion a lot. Like,
Uh huh.
I try to be logical about a lot of shit. It doesn't always work that way, but I try to be pretty logical about stuff. I don't have any children. I've never had a super bad like breakup. I ain't never been like the bitter ex. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean? I ain't never tried to fight no man. I ain't never tried to fight no bitch for no man. You know what I mean? I ain't
Never
never,
trying to fight no bitch for no man.
called. I ain't never called left no. I ain't never called left no crazy voicemails. I ain't never keyed no cars. I ain't never. You know what I mean? I go by the manner of I'm not keeping nobody that don't want to be kept. You can go on your own free will. You know what I mean? So
So I guess the solution, like for men and women right now, especially like talking about what women want to hear, along with what our experiences are, of course, what me and JoJo talking about, especially for the show. But from what you're saying, talk about us and
yeah,
what I got you.
Our issues. So you saying talk about our issues
Yes.
where we need to. Okay, so and the thing
Yes.
about it is you watch that clip, you watch that show, but I do that often, because a part of my introduction is that I didn't graduate from an HBCU. I went to SCBU, Sophisticated Crack Baby University. You know what I mean? So I was raised by a drug addict. So I often talk about my detachment issues, my why I shut down, and how that showed up in my relationships, how I showed up in my
Yeah.
parenting,
So
how I
we need
showed
to
up in my
encourage. We need to encourage other men to
to
do
to
that.
to, to do that. So and you know what, she's right in that aspect because it's a lot of women that's why they rock with me and that's why they trust me and that's why they seek me out for certain things, right? But let me say this.
Mm-hmm.
As a man, I have a special needs daughter, right?
Right. Okay.
And she was born and she rocked my world. She tore down the foundation of my thought. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And she shifted my whole paradigm, my whole way of thinking. And I've been slowly rebuilding of that, right? So what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying is she wasn't my first child either. She was my third daughter. It took an
Mm-hmm.
act from God, as a man to make me see how fucked up I was as a human. I'm not gonna say fucked up like I was just totally bad, right? But just to
Right.
see these big blind spots that I had and these weaknesses and these deficits in who I was as a man and as a partner, right?
Right.
That's what it takes with men. So I will
And I
open
hate
up and
that
I
it
will
takes
talk.
that
I will,
though.
I
I
will, I
hate.
will, I will open up and I will talk, but I don't have that much faith in that I'm gonna reach a lot of men. Uh,
Right. And
telling,
that's
yeah,
unfortunate.
God gonna have
And
to
I'm
do
saying
that.
I hate that and I hate that it has to take that because
Yeah.
I
here you
don't
are,
agree.
us. It's to five women trying to get with one man,
No,
and
I
and
don't
he,
agree.
you
I
know,
don't.
She here.
and
Angel.
he is.
I don't
Is he
know.
talking to me?
No,
Yeah, he
yeah,
said he don't
Okay.
agree.
I
Take
was
that
just,
mask off, make
uh,
sure we can hear
I
you.
was just saying I don't agree with what JoJo said, and like you said, yeah, that's unfortunate
Uh
that
huh.
we would be able to reach other men. Go
Hmm.
ahead, but I was just saying, I think that's doable.
You think it's do? No.
Hell yeah.
Okay. In relation to women.
And I'm saying that it's unfortunate that it has to be that significant that it has to take like you said an act of God for people to realize that like I'm really on some bullshit. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I really need to get my shit together. Like I really need to figure out where this shit's coming from. Like why do I have so many narcissistic characteristics? Like
Look, hold on. I think Bush wrapping us up. These narcissistic characteristics, I hate that shit. They say I'm triggered.
why
They say I'm triggered by terms because I hate it. Like I hate it. My
why
dog, because we adopt and adapt these terms, man, that don't really fit our situations, and that we just throw them
that's
around
not true.
without the full understanding. And I know, and I had this conversation. So to
Did
me,
Bush tell you I used to be a therapist?
you
That
say
I'm a therapist?
you say
Did
what?
Bush tell you I used to be? Did Bush tell you I used to be a therapist? Like I'm a trained therapist. Like
No, he
people
didn't.
have no.
He didn't. So okay,
Oh,
so listen. Well, I'm not talking about you. I'm just talking about in our general as a community, right?
but I think it's a very. I think it's a very. It's a name. You should things are things. You should call a thing a
Let's give it
thing. You
another
should call a
name
thing
because let's give it another. So let's
why?
do this because you know what? Because a lot of our people, because you said that you are or once a therapist. A lot of our people aren't or weren't therapists, and they adapt these terms and they use it to cloud and to hide behind, and sometimes to put a term on somebody that don't apply. And me personally, if you call me a narcissist, I don't give a damn because what's the simplest definition of a narcissist?
You want the simplest definition, or you want
The
like
the simplest
the
definition. The
simplest
simplest.
definition is? I mean, they pretty much are. They think of themselves. They
They
don't think
what?
themselves. They think of themselves
Okay,
and only
okay. Yes.
themselves.
So they tend. So the simplest definition of a narcissist is somebody who thinks more of themselves than what they really are, or they make themselves bigger. They think more of themselves, right? So what y'all call narcissists, I call
So am I a narcissist?
some. No, but what I call is the typical black man that has been forced to survive, to go into a protection
No,
mode to survive in this country.
no,
So
I know a lot of black men, and I know a lot of them that aren't narcissists, but then I know a few that are absolutely are.
yeah.
And Bush, you know one that I know.
Right. I know who you talking about.
So, but that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that we aren't all narcissists. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that no black man is a narcissist, right? But I'm saying what a lot of time what y'all call narcissists overcoming from where we come from and surviving, and especially if you are winning, you.
A narcissist.
Yeah, no, he is. But don't paint. I'm not denying that, but I'm saying don't paint me as a narcissist because we got the same. No, I'm just saying, black women boy, y'all love throwing that. That's toxic.
No, I don't
No, I'm
think
just fucking with you.
That's a legit thing as well.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of toxic motherfuckers, and they don't know what toxicity is, and they be spewing it every day.